All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another great episode of Let's Talk Real Life with Miss Nada Manning. I'm your co-host, Coach Vernon Garrison, certified life coach or personal development coach, and we do welcome you back to this positive show. It's a show founded on ministry. It's a show founded on Christ. It's a show founded to motivate you, even though there's just an emotion, not necessarily a spirit, but we're going to give you the best here on Awesome Radio, 107.5 WECU. That's right. You can also find this show on GPAT 23 Facebook and YouTube. And you can find this show on social media platform, Awesome Radio YouTube and Awesome Radio Facebook. Hey, stay with us, find us, make a comment, share the post, share the video, because we're about to go down into some very, very deep content here. I won't say parental discretion is advised. I say discretion is advised on every aspect of this show. Thank you once again for joining us. Now, I'd like to introduce our host, Miss Nada Manning.
Good evening. Good morning. Hello, everyone. It is indeed to be back on the show to share some more life issues. You might be surprised. I'm going to give you the topic with a lot of subtopics, but the main topic is about emotions. Emotions. We all have them, and they are all caused by different things in our lives. Some of us do well with our emotions and some of us don't. Some of us do well sometimes, and other times it's kind of difficult. So, that being the main topic, I want to, at this time, focus because of the time of year. This is Father's Day season. I believe it's 2 weeks from now, 2 weeks from this past Sunday, the 15th, I believe. So we want to talk about fathers and dads and those that want to be, those that try to be, those that don't try to be, those that all in all areas of fatherhood. Some of them are trying to be dads. There is a difference, I believe, in being a father and being a dad. Father is a more formal term. Any man can be a father, okay? But it takes someone special to be a dad. The difference being, even though we say, well, father, so and such and such, I don't think too many of us call our fathers father. Some of us do, but not in our culture. I don't think we call them dad or daddy or something like that. Pop, but usually pop is a granddaddy. We want to focus on those emotions that surround fatherhood. And in today's time, keeping it in more current, I would say current over the past 10, 15 years, maybe. Don't want to go too far back because dads back then, fathers back then was of a different nature. Although they still carried the role, it was more required. I guess I can safely say this. It was a lot required of them, but in a different way because the times then were different. There were times back in, I have to go back a little bit, back in my time, young boys were brought up not to cry, which is one of the subtopics. Are men supposed to cry? Does it make them look weak if they cry? Men being fathers, many times, depending on the makeup of the man or the father or the dad, there are some men that don't cry even as fathers, but then there are some that do. My question is, what makes one any different from the other? I say, not being a dad, but I say, as I always say, it depends. It depends on what's going on that would cause that father or that dad to cry or not. It could be his upbringing. It could be showing a sign of weakness to some people. And I beg to differ. I think that if a man cries, to me, it shows that he cares. I think that if a man don't cry, that does not mean he don't care, but it does not show the same. If he's going through something, if whatever has happened, some type of drama or lost his job or something that has caused him to become emotional. How he responds to that depends on his environment. How was he brought up, or the circle that he's currently in? Maybe he's the type of guy that's happy-go-lucky all the time. He's bubbly, which appears to be not I don't care, but don't let anything bother him too much. But deep down, probably when he gets to himself, he cries out. Now, I'm not saying he boo-hoo and all of this like, some of us women do, but a teardrop, his eyes become watery. I don't think there's anything wrong with that because it shows that he has feelings. Now, let me take it to another spin. In some cases, as dads, the mothers of those children causes the dad to cry. Maybe because they are mistreating him or not allowing him to see his children. He gets bent out of shape about it. It causes him to cry within, even if he don't cry out. He's hurting on the inside. Is any of this healthy? I think that emotions can be healthy if it's held in the right perspective, if it's held in the right area of your life, because it is not healthy to hold a lot of emotions in. And I'm not just talking about men, I'm talking about people, period. Women as well, children. It's to me, to hold stuff in is detrimental to your health because you're about to burst at the seams because you're so angry. So it can be healthy to cry out. Now, some people, and I'm probably going all over the place with this, but this is just some of the areas that I would like to cover, not all tonight, but at some point, as we talk about emotions, we are focusing right now about the dads and the pop-pops and the dad roles. You might not be a biological father, but you're in that role of a father or a dad. And it causes some type of emotion to kick in, and it can carry from generation to generation. How the young man is brought up by his father can sometimes determine how he is as a father as he grow up and become a dad. Sometimes that's a good thing and sometimes it's not. Some people call it, if it's bad enough, it's a generational curse. That's what some people say, because you have a tendency to carry yourself as a parent the way you were brought up. Not all the time is that healthy to do that either. Because if you were in an abusive relationship, that's not good either, to bring your children up being abused. And some people are trying to change that. No, I don't want my child to come up the way I did. Some of us have that mentality. And as I say that, there are some things, not everything, not the abusiveness, but there are some things and some trends that were brought to our attention when we came up is not bad. like being responsible. You go get yourself a little job to earn yourself a little money. It's showing responsibility. So you have all of that in a parent's role. And the dad would be the strong one in the family, not only just for the little boys, but for the little girls as well. Because those little girls were going to grow up, and sometimes they'll grow up, if they have a model type dad, I want to marry somebody just like my dad. Or I want my boyfriend to, you look for those kind of traits in the boyfriend. And when you start dating, I want to, if that was the type of dad in the home. Coach, you ready to talk?
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining the show tonight, because she just did it all. I was sitting there like, okay.
I'm just touching all over the place just to bring it in on some of the things that we're going to be talking about as weeks come ahead of us.
Well, I'm going to start it out. Men that cry, it's all about timing. Society does not accept men's emotions unless it's dealing with alpha macho emotions. That's when we can show ourselves. They will not and do not accept on a whole scale men's feminine response. It's the alpha projection and then it's the film projection. And I'm not talking about just somebody gay. I'm just talking about a man that's showing his alpha is trying to be rah-rah. I'm this, I'm that. Okay, this is what we're going to do. He's a quarterback or something. A man that's showing his film might show his soft side. Might be, yeah, I'm cool. Yeah, whatever you want to do. And then he can show more of the film side when he's talking and acting like his mama or nurturing. Real soft and all the way to the flaming hot gay side. And I know people that high-strung guys, and I don't consider all the high-strung guys that talk fast, that be saying, "Girl, you know what?" No, I'm not saying all of those guys are gay. I'll just say some of them, exhibit femme traits, and that's like a balance in a relationship too. You can describe that whole thing in a positive way. When a man is safe around you, he'll show his vulnerability. He'll sleep on his stomach, or he'll sleep on his side and let you hold him and wrap your arms around him from the back. That's a vulnerable position because it's not like the masculine, like front face security. I can't trust you. So there's small ways a man will show his film to his. I had somebody tell me a couple months back, we had lunch, and he was like, "Yeah, my wife, she washes my hair, and sometimes she'll just take me and wash my head, sit me on the toilet, dry me off, and blah 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 blah. Treat him like a little child. But that's that thing they have between them. I'm surprised he told me that. So I'm saying men can be very powerful and in their element and cry at the same time. It's just that it's got to be done in a certain time in today's society in order to send a message. There are some actors who show emotions that are known for it. Samuel Jackson, he uses the MF word. So they get praised for little words they say. and emotions they use. And crying is just another emotion. You can cut somebody out or you can cry and turn it inward. Both of those are emotional, physiological responses to things that you're going through. So crying in masculinity is all about timing, because if you're mourning for a loss, if you are upset and you are in closed doors and you're talking to your woman and you let it out rather than throw something across the room, you just let the tears come out because you're in a safe place, and she not gonna think that you some punk because you're crying. She gonna know you really hurt. And still society, the needle for the gas tank of consideration towards men is going up, but right now women and children and dogs and pets get more empathy and more support during emotional times than men do. I don't know how long it's going to last. I think it's here to stay, because y'all think we're supposed to be Superman every day, Batman every day. So crying is, to me, it's about the timing, and it'll be okay. But if you cry at the wrong time, whew, it could be one of the memes on the computer. Somebody could take a video of you, and you'll just look so out of character that you become one of the memes, and you'll be sitting there, some weird sad face, and they'll catch you. Like they caught Michael Jordan crying at the wrong time one time, and you see the tears start coming out of his eyes. And then that became an icon of crying. So I just added the technical aspects of that when it comes to men crying. I cry. I just can't remember when. Sometimes when I get overjoyed with what God has done or doing in my life, the reverence goes to Him, and I don't break down in tears, because I've seen a lot of things. I've just been amazed by what God has done on a daily basis. I'm like, how did that happen? I just knew I was gone. I just knew I was out. I just knew I done went 10 steps back, and I got to start all over financially. And then I find out that I don't. So, so to cry at that time, I didn't feel it. I haven't felt it. In crisis, when somebody's hurt, a lot of blood or blah, blah, blah. And I've done a lot of that stuff working in prisons and group homes. I don't cry. Some funerals, I think I have. Uh, I didn't cry at my sister's funeral. I didn't understand that feeling. It was so emotional. I didn't understand how I was feeling, because my sister was connected to me in such a deep way that I didn't, so I didn't cry. I was hurt severely, but to this day, I wonder why I didn't cry. Um, I cried a couple of times when I found out my marriage was ending. But on the last day that I knew it was ending, after the battle of over 3 years trying to hold on to it, I didn't cry on that last day, because I knew we needed to seek happiness. We needed to seek growth. We needed to seek healing. It hurt, and I don't know why I didn't cry. I guess I emotionally unbalanced, then the tears just didn't show up. Finally, I'll say this.
Wait a minute.
A guy on the internet, and I hope y'all have seen.
You say you are emotionally imbalanced?
Yeah. Well, at that time, I was referring to, if you are emotionally imbalanced, laughter might come out. That's one of the things I've studied in law enforcement. when the criminal justice instructor says you might go to somebody's house to investigate a crime and you might find them laughing. You might find them crying. You might find them in any state of mind because sometimes you don't know how the human body is going to respond. And because they're smiling or they're baffled or they're discombobulated, you might think that they're a suspect, and you might miss the cue thinking that, but you still gonna follow through with your process. But the human body can show weird emotions at certain times. Some people go to sleep when they're very, very, very highly stressed. Like, what in the world are you going to sleep at a time like this? Joker, you better man up or whatever. And in some people's bodies, it's a physiological thing that gets us so hyped up and we misspeak. We call people's names. We say things we shouldn't. Emotions are just that, an emotion. Don't necessarily have anything to do with reality sometimes because it's what's in your head and what's in your body that's causing your heart to beat, your breathing to take a flight or fight. So that's why emotions are not trustworthy. Anger is not trustworthy. Um, those types of things cannot be trusted, cannot be relied upon. Just because you got a voice like James Evans, mean you got to go around scaring everybody because you raising your voice. Anger, and I was about to say this, anger is a a I ain't heard this guy say on online. Y'all have to have seen this so far. You'll catch it. Anger is the uh, inflicting harm upon yourself. Being angry at someone is the harm that you inflict on yourself due or based on somebody else's behavior. Just think, you get mad, get a headache, it's stressful. You are inducing that. You are allowing it to happen, even though they're triggering it. It's happening, and you're hurting yourself just as much or more as the other person. And that woke me up right there.
Okay. Um, good. Good information. Thank you from a man's perspective. That's why you're on the show, right? To give a male perspective.
Yeah, I hope I'm doing some good every now and then.
Yeah, every now and then you're doing fine. Um, I want to talk about this is more of a I guess I say a spiritual side, a religious side of the role of a dad. Okay, let's talk about Satan and how he can get into the dad's or the father's mind and heart. Some of the things that I've learned and experienced are the strongholds that can come upon not just the dad, but any person. But we're talking about dads. Um, it causes the strongholds would be the anger and striking out and that kind of thing. Dad's not getting along with the family. Now, it's been said, and I guess it's still being said, if the woman is not happy, the household is not happy. Some of the things that can cause dad not to get along with the family. Again, I said earlier, maybe he lost his job, maybe he had a bad day at work, or maybe one of his boys, his buddies, rubbed him the wrong way or got him involved in some things he shouldn't have been involved in. And so it comes home, and Satan have a way of taking advantage of that. How so? How what is it that can prevent because Satan is after all of us. But whenever there's something going on seemingly with dads that's going well, I mean, you got the home, you got the wife, you got the children that are healthy, you got the job that you wanted. Everything is going well until one day somebody pushed the wrong button. And it just kind of mess up not just your day, but it mess up some days. And you come home and sometimes take it out on the family. Something in that situation, and I call it Satanism, that has caused that man to behave the way he's behaving. Because is he not in control? Is he not in control of whatever is going on to be able to come home and not let it rub off and disrupt his household? Sometimes the control is out of hand. It's just too much. What are your comments on that?
Well, I
He said
appreciate you.
he never gets a break. You know, all this comes up in his mind. Whatever happened outside at home, he's going to bring it home, and it disrupts the home, and the wife or the mother of the children, whoever is there, the midwife or whoever it is, the housekeeper, whoever she is taking the brunt of what he has experienced. Or he'll come home and don't say anything. Just go off to himself. What do you think?
I'm going to
Emotion.
say this. And this I have not heard on social media yet. So y'all take a bite of this. I'm almost to say, and maybe it's a personal thing that I should keep to myself and keep processing and keep studying and thinking and meditating on it. If there is something wrong with a man, I think it's because of a woman that has not fixed him to proceed and bring the best crop, the yield. It's like a plow and a setting the soil up and making sure the soil has enough minerals, to produce the crop next year.
It's the woman's fault, huh?
But hear me out. Hear me out. And I did just say that. If you're setting up some land to grow a crop of corn next year, you groom that property, you rotated it. The soil you might have grown wheat the year before or 2 years before. You rested that plot of land. You added things to that soil that's supposed to be added to that soil. And you have prepared that. And God set it up where he's like, all right, this is not good for this guy to be alone. I just scratched him up out of the dirt, and he doesn't look like he's going to do well without some companionship. In fact, I need to perpetuate society anyway. We won't give the opportunity, we won't give the responsibility of men to bear children. I'm going to give it to his helpmate. So that's a little bit more important job than this man can handle. In fact, I want him to be close, but I don't want him to be just like her. So I'm not going to make her from the dirt. I'm going to make her from his rib because I want them to know that they're inseparable, that she came from him. Now, that's a little paraphrase. Okay, don't get mad, ministers. But that's, if I'm incomplete with what you need me to be as a man, what do you think you were here for? I'm not talking about social construct of how men, women are taking on the Afro role now or the head of household. I'm just talking about the law of God, the law of the physiological creation of man as we believe it in that Bible. As I feel it in my spirit, as I look at a woman, and not just, some people think that women were the matriarchs of society and women led society. But what I'm saying is we complement each other. Let's just look at nature then. I'm not trying to take God out of it. We complement each other. So we were made a pair, she and he he and she. And when that harmony is messed up, when you're messed up, it's because I'm messed up. If I'm messed up, it's because you're messed up. And if we messed up, I can mess you up and you can definitely mess me up. The Bible says a man is better to dwell up in the rooftop of a house than a scornful woman. Why is that? Because her voice alone can kill him. You so, and you always did. And her voice alone can emasculate a man over a period of years. I done seen it done. It happened to my daddy. Women are stronger than men in that category. I don't know how you can hear your own voice sometimes. And by the way, when it comes to women emotions, I know you're talking about fathers. I think that they're out of hand. I think that everything that's coming to our respectfully female counterparts, our lovely, beautiful women, everything that's coming to your mind is coming out of your mouth. And that's throwing a lot of stuff off. That's throwing the atmosphere off. That's throwing the house off. That's making it where this man can't move. If he's weak, he about to be weaker. Even though you do have a right to say, you got to recognize how powerful you are. Your voice is so strong. Your voice is so high. You got to get in your position in the choir. You don't just let the tenors and the sopranos just sing the whole song. They got ooh. They got, and and everybody's like, oh, yeah. And you don't just let the men, I'm dreaming of. No, you don't let one of them dominate. And that's what women do. And that's what they are doing now. You just walk down the street, walk through a store, you're going to hear, oh no, it's a so and so and so and so. Is it so and 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 so? Sure, men do the same thing. We gossip, we whine and cry. We do. But we do not have the voice that you have. So that's just one of the things God gave y'all to make y'all sexy and soft when you use it the right way. But when you go to screeching, it sounds like a chalkboard scratch or a dinosaur. Can't do it. But I'm serious as a heartbeat. Our emotions have gotten out of hand. Whether you dress it up to, yo, I'm going to talk to you, man. What's up? Yeah. You want to call? Oh, okay. Oh, your wife doing what? And then you guys sit there and go through that whole thing. 3-4 times a day, the same conversation. But I said that on another show, so the doc that's listening, I don't want to repeat myself. So the emotions, I think we're out of control now because emotional conversation, let me get to the show here. Emotional conversation is not facts. The conversation you want men to have is that you just want us to listen to you and hear you out. The conversation that men need to have is that we do need to be more emotional and to describe our emotions, not describe what happened. We need to describe our emotions like,
How do you feel?
I lost my job and I feel terrible. Now, I'm not an expert, but I'm a certified negotiator. We don't know how to talk about emotions. You don't just say, I lost my job. I can't, I got to find another one. No. Men, you got to say, I lost my job. I feel so terrible. I lost my job. I feel like I lost my whole life. I feel emotionally, I'm disappointed. I'm sorry. I feel like I feel like a failure. I feel sad one moment. One moment I feel hopeful that God is going to carry me through. I feel happy when I wake up in the morning. But as the day goes by, I become more, have more feelings of despair. and I'm uncomfortable knowing that I'm responsible. That's what men need to do. The emotional words have to come out. And I know you read talk. Your emotional words have to come out. And you, as the woman, have to get me to say the emotional words, not come and try to teach me how to swim while I'm drowned. Well, you need to go do this then. Well, you need to do something. Well, you need to, well, what happened? Man.
Okay. I'm gonna pull out one word that you said. You said many words, but I'm gonna focus. We're talking about emotions, folks. We're talking real life here. I'm your host, Nada Manning, and I'm with Coach Garrison here as we share some different aspects, different views, different comments, different experiences as we go through life, focusing on emotions. And Coach's many words that he just said to us, I want to pull out the word sorry. SORRY. That is an emotion. We all have that particular emotions. We don't always express how we feel when we are sorry about something. Some of us are better at it than others. Some of us don't express being sorry at all. Some of us just let it blow over like nothing happened. Some of us really, really are genuinely sorry, but we just don't know how to express how sorry we are. I want to know what causes that lack of verbiage, if you will, when it comes to expressing that you are genuinely sorry about something. Because, and I say that because as dads, bringing up little children or not, I guess I may as well use the fact that the dads that are not in the children's lives, some of them are sorry. I would say many of them are, maybe not all of them, but many of them are sorry that they are not involved with their child's life. And it causes them to feel some kind of way. The dads, because we talk about dads. It causes them to feel some kind of ways, kind of mixed feelings. And some of them really, really want to do the right thing and be involved in that child or those children's lives. Because truth be told, we're talking real life here. Who gets caught in the middle all the time? The children. So they'll grow up being like dad, uncaring many times, not all the time, many times being uncaring, very opinionated, very, I don't know, sometimes they might end up being emotional, but I think in my experience, most of the time they end up being hard. And hurt. So they strike out. They get into things. They become mischievous. All because dad sometimes wasn't allowed to be in the child's life. Other times because he chose not to be in the child's life. And it creates some kind of way of feelings. So the sorrowfulness. How will that dad learn or teach his children, especially the boys and girls too, about being sorry? If he's not a sorrowful person, how can that gap be filled to help that child as that child grows? He wasn't taught to be sorrowful. And it causes some type of emotions to develop in future relationships as that young man grows into adulthood. to the point where, okay, I didn't mean it, and that's the end of that. Nothing else is said about
Let me jump in right there because
Okay.
that's the transition. If you don't mind.
it. Okay.
Sorry is let me just get to the point. Sorry is a almost always an admission of guilt. In this society, we have what we call an adversarial way of conflict resolution. We rather solve problems in court, in environments where there's a judge, jury, opposing forces, proven facts, and get a decision. Judge, jury. So, and if you don't prove it, then I'm innocent. So it's, saying I'm sorry is that part of society that's saying, oh, that's an admission of wrongdoing. As
Okay.
well, it is a time that open the door for healing and reconciliation, but you can't go in two doors at one time. What were you
Okay.
saying?
You kind of, sort of, but you can be sorry and be guilty.
That's right. But here's what I'm saying.
You can be sorry and not guilty.
Right. Here's what I'm saying. Primarily, sorry is an admission of guilt. Who, and now I want to finish my statement. Who in the world wants to be guilty? Because you're going to get punished. More than likely, you're going to get a speeding ticket. You're going to get you're going to go to court. You're going to go to jail. You're going to be. So what now?
Consequences.
Yes, you're gonna suffer some consequences, and that's one aspect of saying you're sorry, and why people don't say that they're sorry. Number two is sorry means you are weak in a lot of situations, saying that you admit wrongdoing, but you're not gonna say sorry. You're not gonna have any empathy for what just happened towards that other person. That's what also sorry means. That it's an admission of guilt, but it's also saying you're weak. You're not. Oh, you saying you sorry? Do you really mean it? And so you're going to get judged. So sometimes you might as well not say you sorry in a situation that's always somebody's going to jump on you because you're vulnerable. Oh, I know you did it. I know you're sorry. In my household growing up, sorry not only meant you were sorry. Sorry mean to my dad, sorry meant you were sorry.
You wasn't worth 2 cents.
That's right. You weren't worth 2 cents. So when you open that door to get ready to say you're sorry to some people, oh, they're gonna go with either the judgmental side or they're gonna either go with, oh, you I knew you was, you a punk. I know you are. I know you sorry.
Okay.
And it's not a safe place. And the last thing I want to address the children. Why come children don't know how to resolve conflict and apologize until they get caught? It's because the adults do it, but you haven't shown them. And there are some parents who got a trust like you wouldn't believe between the children, and they can go to them and confess their sins. That will keep you from saying, they will give the children the power to apologize, the empathy, the consideration for the person they hurt or they think they hurt. And they'll grow up with that. But if you grow up dog eat dog, seeing mom and dad never saying they're sorry to each other because it's the adversary of power struggles all the time, why would you say you're sorry to somebody that hates your guts or you don't know where they're at and they're coming for you as soon as you admit that you did something? So so society is not in our language to say, I feel so terrible. I'm sorry. Some people would like you turn over a cup of milk, but somebody that cheated on somebody, oh, I'm so sorry. I cheated on you. Oh my God. I mean, I didn't mean to. I was just impulsive. Man, that person ain't trying to hear that. They getting ready to rip your head off.
I agree with some of the things that you said, but the part about being weak, I think all of that depends on the situation at hand. As
That's
far
right.
as, yeah, like that example you just gave about the where you gave a couple of examples. The last one you gave about the infidelity, the trust issue between two people, and you come back and say that you are sorry. I think that um, that is two sides to being sorry. I guess is what I'm trying to say. There is a way. Sometimes you saying about the weakness. I don't know about that. Saying that you're sorry is a sign of weakness. I beg to differ. It depends on
Really?
the
You haven't
situation.
been. Let me show you another side of it. Have you met somebody who will not admit or will not apologize? They just keep right on going. They'll make a mistake and they won't even say, "Oh, my bad." They'll just keep right on going. Our president is one of those people. He don't make mistakes. He just owns stuff. Whatever he do, he own it.
I'm not.
If it's something bizarre, the next thing you know, he's switching the words around. And I'm not talking politics here. He's switching the words around and saying, "Okay, I did it. Okay, now what? That's what I did. Okay." Or he gonna say, "I didn't." He gonna tell a lie in place of a point where he
But
could be
see, that's being
saying
arrogant. That's
that he
being arrogant.
wrong.
That's being
Well,
arrogant.
that's
You
what
say,
I'm
okay,
saying. So now you see somebody using that as a power position, and they'll
yeah,
song and dance just like a child. You just saw them uh, do something. Did you do that, Johnny? Huh, Johnny? Did you do that over there? Over there? What just happened over there that got broken? I don't know what happened. A lot of times, the adults do the same thing, and we'll tell a white lie. A white lie. Well, I just got in here. Of course, you just got in here, but you just got in here, did what you did. Now you trying to see what you're trying to weigh and balance what's going to happen before you admit that you just did what you did. That's the part that people don't want to look bad. I guess I could say they don't want to look bad in front of everybody, so they will not admit or apologize for what just happened. Well, I was driving this way and I had a right to be here. That's what I mean by showing a sign of weakness. Whereas if you would just go ahead and admit to what you did,
yeah, okay, okay. And so we are a couple of minutes from ending the show for tonight. I just want to uh, bring out a few things that we're going to carry on with for the next several weeks under this emotion thing. It's so broad and it's so many areas, and we just kind of touched the iceberg a little bit tonight on what things can really cause a problem in households, in couples, in our children, in our relationships, friends, buddies. It can be a problem. So we want to just give you a general idea, which I hope we did that tonight. I pray that that's what we did. Um, as far as this emotion thing goes, and this category of feelings and heartache, and it's we have we have jealousy, we have um, I think we talked about that once before on a couple of shows ago. We talked about the difference between being jealous and envious or something like that. So all of these emotional traits that we all have covers a lot of territory. So we want to stop now. And next time, we're going to continue because we're still in the month of June and we still want to focus on dads and fathers. So stay tuned with us, folks, as we bring out some more very pertinent information, facts, points to consider as we look at real life issues. And I am currently hosting the show with a dad and a granddad, a pop, and the joy of having that. That's another emotion, being in a position with our grandchildren. So with the Lord's help, we're going to focus on that and see how it goes. See which way the wind blows with that particular show. So for now, we're going to close out by saying, Coach, did you have anything else to add?
No, I'm good.
All right. Father God, thank you for this time. Thank you for being who you are in our lives as we continue the show of Let's Talk Real Life. We hope and pray, Lord, that you have guided some of these words and that the listening ears out there will be able to adhere to and comment on some of these things, if not all of these things, as we continue to talk about emotions. Very, very strong word, Lord. And we give you the praise for this opportunity. In Jesus' name, amen. Have a good
All right,
evening.
ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of Let's Talk Real Life with Miss Nada Manning. Until next time, you guys be blessed. This is 107.5 WECU, Awesome Radio.